Hey, welcome back to the show. Our next guest is the author of a novel that's getting a lot of buzz. Bonnie Garmus's Lessons in Chemistry focuses on a woman who becomes the host of a TV cooking show. Bonnie joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
We are so delighted to talk about this book, but first, you used to live in Seattle.
Yeah.
So how has Seattle, the Emerald City, I should say, impacted you?
Well, I love Seattle. We still have a house here. But it's impacted me in a lot of ways. I learned to row here, and rowing is featured in the book. So I love Seattle. It's great to be back.
Well, we are so glad to have you. She is going back to London soon, so we got you now. Let's talk about the new novel. It's getting a lot of buzz. What do people love about it so much?
Well, I think the main character, Elizabeth Zott, resonates with a lot of people, including men, because she is somebody who stands up for what she thinks. And I think most women have a little bit of Elizabeth Zott in them. So when people read it, they say, that kind of, it feels the way I feel.
I love that. So your main character, through life's experiences and challenges, she ends up getting a job at a TV cooking show. What in the world made you come up with that idea?
Oh my gosh. Well, I knew that she was a chemist, and to me, the only logical way she could be on television would be to teach cooking, because cooking really is chemistry. So that part made sense to me.
I think that's so fascinating. The story is really also dealing with kind of other nuanced issues of women and some of the expectations of them back in the 1960s.
Yes.
The fact is didn't she lose her job for a very, what we would see now as a completely ridiculous and like unlawful reason?
Exactly. Back then, I didn't know this at the time, but back then, women could not hold a job and be pregnant at the same time. And she was also unwed, so she was scandalous, and she was fired for it.
Unreal. What kind of research did you put into kind of figuring out the way that life was in the 1960s for a woman who would be in the science field?
Well, for me, this is when my mom was a mom, so I could kind of remember as a small child what it was like, but I didn't really know until I did research that my mother could not write a check unless my father co-signed it. Women back then had no legal right to their husband's paycheck. They were often not included on the deed of the house. And of course, like we just discussed, you could not be pregnant and hold a job. So when I did the research, I realized what kind of limits those incredible women lived under, and how often they were dismissed as just average housewives.
Unbelievable. And our heroine in this, she is not married at the time, as you mentioned. Is that something that becomes a problem in her television career as well?
Oh, absolutely. You know, she's suspect, because how can you not be married? How can you have a child? How can you do all of these things and be on television and be a woman in the world? You must have a man by your side.
Well, I've heard that the story's been optioned for Brie Larson and AppleTV.
Yes.
I love Brie Larson. She's, Captain America. How do you not love Captain America? What are your thoughts on that? Oh,
I'm so excited. I mean, they're well into production. They're starting to shoot this July in LA.
So this is already, the train is rolling.
The train has left the station.
Okay.
So they're casting the dog right now. And very important character. So no, it's extremely exciting to have Brie attached to this.
How does this work when you write a book? Who writes the screenplay?
The screenplay is being written by the woman who wrote Erin Brockovich, Susanna Grant, but also Hannah Fidel has just come on. So I'm very excited, and then there's also a writer's room. I'm not doing much of the writing on the series. I have a lot of other things to do, so I'm super excited for this and for the team I'm working with.
That is exciting. Do you know when it will? I know it's already going to be starting to film, but do you know when we can start to expect to see it on Apple TV?
Yes, next summer, somewhere, maybe July, August, COVID willing.
COVID? Oh my goodness. Oh my, well, you're gonna have to come back from London then to visit us.
Okay.
What is next for you? You mentioned you were doing a lot of other things.
Yeah, I'm writing another book, and so that's taking up quite a bit of time, but mostly right now I'm doing promotion for this. So yeah, pretty busy right now.
So I know I am a huge fan of a series. I know writers probably hate hearing this, but what about this? Do you think this could ever continue, that we see what happens next in Elizabeth's life?
Well, that has certainly been discussed a lot lately, so we'll just wait and see on that.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
I love it. Any advice before I let you go on folks who, have a novel in their head and they're just kicking it around? What advice would you have for someone?
Sit down and write it.
Sit down and write it.
And don't worry about the critics sitting on your shoulder. Just sit down and write it.
Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing this book with us, for sharing your advice. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. I cannot wait to read this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, Bonnie.